Welcome to the class, dear students. In today's lecture, I am going to explain you about the confidence interval. Confidence interval for estimating the mean. When the population standard deviation is known to us, that means for the larger sample, suppose, whenever we say large sample, how to identify which is a large sample or small sample? For the large sample means n is greater than or equal to 30. Okay, so that is what the first identification. So when the population standard deviation is known to us, what is the estimate for the mean? This is what for the large sample. What is the estimate for the mean of the confidence interval? So the when population standard deviation and sigma is known, then confidence interval for the mean. The confidence interval for estimating the mean. For estimating mean. This is what we are now going to do. So now the confidence interval, regarding this confidence interval, I have explained in my previous videos, previous lecture. I have very clearly informed you about what is meant by the confidence interval. This is the margin of error is what? Z alpha by 2 sigma by root n is the marginal error. X bar minus of this and X bar plus of this gives you the confidence interval. Now here this Z alpha by 2 is the Z value corresponding to the confidence. Suppose if it is 95% confidence interval, Z alpha by 2 is 1.96. How it is also I have explained very clearly in my previous lectures. So just go through that. And Z alpha by 2 is 1.96. And when you say take 99% of confidence interval, then it is Z alpha by 2 is given by 2.58. That is what the confidence. And 90% confidence interval Z alpha by 2 is 1.65. So these are all we have done in the previous lectures. Now we are going to do a problem on this. So let us read the problem. In order to ensure the efficient usage of a server, it is necessary to estimate the mean number of concurrent users. So according to records, the sample mean of 100 randomly selected items is 37.7. And assume that the population standard deviation to be 9.2. The mean of 100 randomly selected. So which is very clear that your n is equal to 100 and that is greater than 30. So by reading the problem, you should understand whether it is large sample or small sample. So since it is greater than 100, it is large sample. Okay, next. What is given? The mean, the sample mean. What is that sample mean? It is given by X bar is given by 37.7 is the sample mean. And what is the standard deviation is given as 9.2. And n is equal to 100, of course. So now what is the 90% confidence level, confidence interval? So what you can say about for 90% confidence interval, what is the value of Z alpha by 2? This we have to, it is better to memorize so that it will take less time for you. Okay. For 90% confidence interval, Z alpha by 2 is given by 1.65. So please remember that 90% confidence interval Z alpha by 2 is equal to 1.65. So therefore, what is the confidence interval now given by? In this 90% confidence interval is given by formula is what? X bar minus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma over root n, comma, X bar plus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma by root n. So all these we know now. Everything is known to us. So what is X bar? 37.7 minus Z alpha by 2 value is 1.65 times of sigma 9.2 time over root n means root over 100, comma 37.7 plus, let us now, plus 1.65 times of sigma is 9.2 over root over 100. So this is what the confidence interval. So what is this now? Let us do the calculation for this. Using your calculator you can do it. So the value gives you 36.182 comma 39.2218. So this is what the confidence interval, where you can estimate the mean that it lies in this interval. You are able to understand that what is the population mean, and the mean is 37.7, and x bar, the sample mean is 37.7, and your population mean also lies in the same interval 39.218. I hope you could understand. Let us now do one more problem on this. A researcher wishes to estimate the number of days takes for an automobile dealer to sell a Chevrolet car. A sample of 50 cars means it is large sample, had a mean time on the dealer's lot of 54 days. Mean is also given. Assume that the population standard deviation is given as 6 days. 95% confidence interval is given. So, what are given conditions here? Let us see. One is what? The first n is 50. N is equal to 50. Here it is not told, no, in none of the questions it will be told whether it is a small sample or the large sample, because it is n is greater than 50, n is equal to 50, greater than 30. So it is a large sample first of all. And what is mean? Mean is equal to lot of 54 days. X bar is 54 days. And what is this standard deviation is given as 6 days. And what is Z alpha by 2 under 95% confidence interval? 95% confidence interval, Z alpha by 2 is 1.96. Therefore, what is the confidence interval now? X bar minus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma over root n, comma x bar plus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma by root n. So now what it gives you? It is 54 minus 1.96 times of sigma is 6 over square root of 50, comma 54 plus 1.96 times of 6 over square root of 50. So this is what you can do, and just do the calculation. By using the calculator you can get it, and the interval is given by 52.3369 comma 55.6631. So this is what your confidence interval. Let us now do the one more problem. A scientist wishes to estimate the average depth of a river. He wants to be 99% confidence that the estimate accurate is within 2 feet. And from the previously study, the standard deviation of the depths measured was 4.33 feet. So how many sample measurements he need to estimate? So here what was given? He has not given the sample mean here, and he has not given the sample mean, and he has not given the number of observations also. So what was given is just sigma value. The standard deviation is given by, the standard deviation of the depths of this is given by 4.33, and that is given. And what is the confidence interval? The confidence is what? 99% confidence. So Z alpha by 2 is equal to, at 99% confidence, it is 2.58 at 99% confidence. 99% confidence, Z alpha by 2, you know. And it is an accurate 2 feet. So what was given actually is the confidence interval is given as, it is within the limits, which is within 2 feet. That means the interval is given as 0, 2. So according to the formula, what is the confidence interval? X bar minus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma by root n, comma x bar plus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma by root n. So with the help of this confidence interval, your job is now to find out what is x bar and what is n. The two unknowns are x bar and n. So now what is x bar minus Z alpha by 2 times of sigma by root n is equal to 0. Correct? The lower limit is this one, upper limit is this one. Okay. So now that is x bar minus what is z alpha by 2 is 2.56 times of sigma, what we know, 4.33 by root n is equal to 0. So that is one equation. And what is the other equation? It is x bar minus z alpha by 2 is 2.56 only times of sigma is 4.33 by root n, that is plus actually. This is the upper limit is equal to 2. This is what he has given you. So from here and this, when you add these two, suppose let us call this equation as 1 and call this equation as 2. So adding 1 and 2, or adding 1, this equation 1 and 2, what we get, this and this gets cancelled, right? So you get this and this gets cancelled. So that gives you 2x bar is equal to 2 and x bar is equal to 2 by 2, which is equal to 1. And then what you get, x bar is 1 you get, and what is root n we need to find out, right? So when you get x bar is 1, this second equation or first equation, anything you can apply. So let us apply the first equation. X bar is equal to 1 is equal to 2.56 times of 4.33 over root n. So what it implies, root n is equal to 2.56 times of 4.33. So just multiply these two and get the square. The square of this gives you the value, which is this value, the product is given by 11.714. So n will be 11.714 the whole square, and that value is given by 124.8, but at n cannot be 124.8 or what, the number, correct? The scientist wishes to estimate the average, the number of sample measurements it is that. So we can take it as 124 only. Okay, 124 sample measurements you can take. You cannot take the decimal point, right? Therefore 124 sample measurements should be taken. Sample measurements should be taken. I hope you could understand how to solve this type of problems. Yes, when the confidence interval is given, how to find out, and when the sigma and z alpha by 2 we know, according to that you can find out the, when even the confidence interval is given to you. So what is x bar and what is n also you can find out by observing this problem. I hope you could understand now. Let us, with this I wanted to stop with what is for the large sample, the confidence interval, how to find out when the large sample, when this population standard deviation is known to us. Thank you.